Good morning to all my students of class 12. We shall read a very fine poem which is known as war poem in French literature. The poet is a very young poet, just like your classmate of 16 years old. His father was also a captain in the army, and so he was very influenced by his father to join the army as a soldier. He joined a Dutch colonial army in his young stage. Let us begin this poem with the background of this poem. Generally, war is really very dangerous to us, but we cannot hope peace without war. So we need war and peace together. The poem Asleep in the Valley is particularly an anti-war poem. When Jean-Nicolas Arthur Rimbaud was just 16 years old, just like your classmate, wrote this poem in French language. Then it was translated in English for the readers. Generally, we shall discuss now what is the background of the poem, why the poet started to write this kind of poem in his first life. As a soldier, he gathered a lot of experience in his life, so he expressed his first-hand experience in this poem. One day, when he was passing the way in the valley, he saw a soldier was sleeping upon the green valley with the very fine natural beauty of wild natural phenomena. Actually, the poem is a sonnet written in Italian form, Petrarchan sonnet. There are 14 lines. The first is known as octave and the latter part is known as sestet. You may be very interested in knowing the meaning of the word octave and sestet. Most of the words in classical languages are the source of other words. The word octave has come from a Latin word, just like in our Sanskrit we find the same type of word osto and the same type of word sosto. The poem perhaps was written in 1870 or it was written perhaps in 1876. Finally, the poem was translated into English for the readers. Many poets and writers were also influenced reading this kind of poem. So many poets, so many writers, and so many singers were also influenced reading this poem. Rimbaud has chosen so fine word, so fine style, and so lucid language that it is very, very interesting to read at a stage. The word is really very dangerous to us because it causes a lot of devastations in our life. I already told you that many writers became very influenced reading this poem. Dylan Thomas, Victor Hugo, even Baudelaire were also influenced by him. Even the painters like Pablo Picasso also were influenced by Rimbaud. The first part of the poem, which is known as octave, has a fine, natural, beautiful scene. We find there is a fine setting of natural beauty with green grass. There is mountains around the valley. Besides, we find a lot of flowers, a lot of wild insects, and so on. The sun rays comes down from the top of the mountain just like a stream, flows slowly. Actually, a very small river, you may also call it a rivulet, is flowing there very slowly, just like a ribbon, very small river. The flowing of the river is very calm. There is no disturbance in the nature. I must ask you a question. Do you want war or peace? We cannot hope peace without war. Perhaps we need war just to get peace in our life. During the 19th century, there was a war between France and Russia, or it may be between France or Prussia. As a young soldier, Arthur Rimbaud himself joined in Dutch colonial army as a young soldier, and he experienced a lot of experience in his life, just like in our Bengali literature, Kazi Nazrul Islam. He also experienced a lot of experience in the war field. Though the poet describes the natural beauty with flora and fauna, then after this scene and scenery, he describes the young soldier. He sleeps with calmness and he is smiling just like a child. A laugh is seen at the corner of his lips, just like an innocent child. How fine the scene is. We see his feet upon the flowers, perhaps some expressed his respect and regard to the soldiers, though he is sleeping upon the green grass, upon the valley, but he is not alive, he is dead. It is a matter of great regret that war has snatched away his life forever. Only nature keeps his body warm, but he is dead. Really speaking, war is nothing but a butchery of young boys. Many young boys lost their lives in the war field, just like other soldiers. Rimbaud, as a soldier, lost his life forever. Only nature cradles him now. We saw later that the soldier has warmness in his body. The sun is the giver of warmth. The sun is the source of life. But it is alas, the sun cannot make him alive. He is dead. There is not a trace of life in his body, but there is warmthness. So it may be wrong to us that the soldier is alive, but he is really dead. Perhaps sometimes ego has tried. In the latter part of the poem, we find a fine scene that the soldier has sometime he died. Then he lies open-mouthed, the sleeping condition. There is a trace of smile in the lips. We have already told you that many writers and poets and singers were also influenced by the poet for his word choice, for his expression of style, for his lucid language, etc. In the latter part of the poem, we see that as a poet, Arthur Rimbaud expressed that the grasses, the shrubs are being enriched from the sun, but the soldier will never wake up again. Nature creates him, nature cradles him and provides the necessary heat to keep his body warm and cannot protect his life from the world. When he was sleeping, we find a hand was upon his chest. Why? Because our chest is the center of pump station of our life. There is heart. When a life is going to end, we try hard to touch our heart at first moment. There is the center of our life. So, most of us touch our heart to continue the pump of our life center. He enjoys the warmth of the sun. Even his sleep is very sound, but he is dead. His one hand is upon his chest, and there is two bullet wounds in his body, which he find closely the body. He died. The foe army murdered him with 2 bullets. There is a sign of bloody wounds in his body. It symbolizes that the soldier died just some time ago. The readers gets sudden mental shock at the end of the poem when he comes to know that the soldier is not alive. He is dead. He is dead. He is dead. It is a matter of pity. We don't want wars. We really want peace, peace, peace. You know that bullets cannot come from our pain. It has come from arms. We do not want wars. We want peace. We wholeheartedly want peace. We shall discuss the images, the contrast of the poem in the latter part. Many thanks to all of you, and just meet next day for again. Thanks you.